Hello and assalamu alaikum guys. Today we're going to be doing O-level physics 5054 for October November 2021 paper 1 variant 2. Before starting मैं आपको आपके एग्जाम के बारे में कुछ डिटेल्स बता दूंगा and our topical passivers which is a very easy and convenient way to learn. So let's start. About your exam first. Your exam will contain 40 questions. Each question will be 1 mark. Total marks will be 40 marks and you have to attempt all the 40 questions. ठीक है ना? You will be given 1 hour to attempt this paper and on average you will have 1 minute and 30 seconds for each question. ठीक है? So I recommend you not to go like very fast or very slow. ठीक है ना? आपने एक mid pace रखनी है. You have to find that sweet spot for you. ठीक है ना? For yourself. क्योंकि बच्चों की अपनी स्पीड होती है कुछ बच्चे कुछ क्वेश्चंस जल्दी कर लेते हैं कुछ क्वेश्चंस देर लगा के करते हैं सो या आई होप यू फाइंड दैट स्वीट स्पॉट और या दैट्स इट फॉर योर एग्जाम एंड नाउ ऑन टू आवर टॉपिकल पैसिवर्स हमारे टॉपिकल पैसिवर्स जो है ना इट्स लाइक एनी अदर पैसिवर्स बट द एज वी हैव ओवर द ट्रेडिशनल पैसिवर्स इज दैट फॉर एवरी टॉपिक देयर विल बी अ स्पेसिफिक क्यूआर कोड ठीक है ना जो आपके मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल आपने अपनी एक व्हाट यू कॉल इट पैसिवर्स की बुक खोली है चैप्टर 1 आया चैप्टर 1 के बिल्कुल साथ एक क्यूआर कोड लगा होगा और अगर आप उस क्यूआर कोड को स्कैन करोगे इट विल लीड यू टू अ प्लेलिस्ट और हाउ टू सॉल्व दैट क्वेश्चंस टॉपिक्स क्वेश्चंस जैसे अगर आपने रेडियो एक्टिविटी पेपर 2 का फ्रंट पेज पे क्यूआर कोड को स्कैन किया इट विल लीड यू टू दिस प्लेलिस्ट और इस प्लेलिस्ट में वेरियस वीडियोस हैं व्हिच विल टीच यू हाउ टू अटेम्प्ट रेडियो एक्टिविटी क्वेश्चंस ठीक है ना यू कैन सी 23 क्वेश्चंस है 23 videos हैं from which you can learn how to attempt radioactivity questions. So yeah, having that said, let's move on to the questions. Question number 1. A boy starts at P and walks 3 meters due north from P to Q and then 4 meters due east from Q to R. What is the shortest distance that he now must walk to have an overall displacement of 0? So जो boy है that goes from P to Q and then from Q to R. So currently the boy is sitting at R. ठीक है ना? What is the shortest distance that he now must walk to have an overall displacement of 0? So basically मैंने आपको एक छोटा सा diagram दिया हुआ है here. So the distance between the 2 points is this curved path. But the displacement is the shortest distance between the 2 paths. So what is the shortest distance between the initial position and the current position? The current position is R and the initial position is P. You're not gonna go back from where you came from. You are not gonna go from R to Q and then from Q to P. That will just simply be wrong. You will go from R to P directly, which is the displacement of the 2 points, which is the displacement between the 2 points. So what is the displacement between the 2 points? That is gonna be 5 meters, as you can see. So yeah, that is gonna be our answer, which is C. Question number 2. A student investigates the motion of a ball falling through the air. Which quantity is a vector? एक vector quantity वो होती है which has both magnitude and direction. तो देखते हैं कौन सी quantity के पास both magnitude और direction दोनों है. अच्छा A. The diameter of a ball. The diameter of a ball will not have a direction, although it will have a magnitude. The gravitational force on the ball. Force, on the other hand, force has a direction and magnitude both. The gravitational force, on the other hand, I can precisely explain you how. जो gravity होती है, it pulls everything down. And by down, I mean towards the center of the earth. So it does have a direction which is towards the center of the earth. That means that B is the right answer. So yeah, let's move on. इसको डालते हैं. Question number 3. A skier slides down the slope. The diagram shows how his speed varies with time. What is his average acceleration during the 6 seconds? So the average acceleration will be calculated using the slope of the speed time graph. Speed time graph हमें काफी चीजें देता है and one of the things is that the slope will give us the acceleration of the skier. ठीक है ना? तो slope हम कैसे निकालेंगे? Gradient कैसे निकालेंगे? Gradient is equals to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So yeah, let's apply the formula. ठीक है ना? So y2 हमारे पास क्या है? Y2 is gonna be 26. 26 है हमारे पास y2 minus y1 हमारे पास क्या है? Y1 is gonna be from the origin which is 0 divided by x2 minus x1. x2 है हमारे पास 6 minus 0 again. That will be our answer. Let's calculate it. ठीक है ना? So 26 divided by 6. Simply we're gonna do that. Divided by 6, which will give us 4.333 meters per second square. 4.3 B is the right answer. You can also apply the formula of the acceleration, which is final velocity minus initial velocity divided by the time duration will give us the acceleration. ठीक है ना? So B is the right answer. Question number 4. A solid object immersed in water hangs from an elastic thread. Three forces act on the object. Its weight W, the tension in the thread T, and a force F from the water. The force F acts upwards. Which equation is correct when the object is stationary? The object is stationary, therefore the upward force is equal to the downward force. All the forces are balanced out. So let's identify which forces are upwards and which forces are downwards. तो आधा क्वेश्चन तो already done है because we already know that the weight is acting downwards and the force F, they have already mentioned that the force F is acting upward. How about the tension T? The tension T is acting upwards. Why? Because it is holding the solid object up. The tension T ना होती, if there was no thread, जो solid object होता, it would be sinking right now because of the weight. So yeah, those are the three forces. हमारे पास जो upward force है, that is F plus T, and हमारे पास जो downward force है, that is W. अगर हमने W को इस साइड पे लाना है, the W will subtract. तो अगर हम F plus T minus W, that will be equal to 0. अगर हम इसको rearrange कर दें like this, पहले F आ रहा है, फिर W आएगा, फिर T आएगा. ठीक है? So it will look something like this. तो F हमारे पास आ गया. F माइनस, बिकॉज W के साथ माइनस है, F माइनस W प्लस T is equal to 0. That will be our answer, which is D. Let's move on. Question number 5. The diagram shows a car going around a circular track at a constant speed. Which arrow shows the direction of the resultant force on the car? Whenever an object is moving in a circular path, the object is always subjected to centripetal force. और centripetal force जो होती है, it is always acting towards the center of the path. ठीक है ना? So D will be our correct answer. Question number 6. An object in a laboratory used to determine the gravitational field strength G, which quantity is equal to G? अच्छा जी, वेट का हमारे पास फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? वेट इज इक्वल टू मास इनटू ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड स्ट्रेंथ. W इज इक्वल टू mg, राइट? ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड स्ट्रेंथ. तो अगर हमने ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड स्ट्रेंथ को सब्जेक्ट बनाना है, वी विल हैव टू डिवाइड द mass, because यहाँ mass multiply हो रहा है, यहाँ जाके divide हो जाएगा, तो weight divided by mass is equal to G, which is the gravitational field strength. So what is equal to the quantity G? Weight divided by mass. So C is the right answer. Question number 7. A student takes measurements to find the density of a regularly shaped block. Which formula is used to calculate the density of the block? डेंसिटी का फॉर्मूला क्या है? डेंसिटी इज इक्वल्स टू मास डिवाइडेड बाय वॉल्यूम. डेंसिटी इज इक्वल्स टू मास डिवाइडेड बाय वॉल्यूम. सो द स्ट्रेट वे आंसर इज ए. इतने आसान क्वेश्चंस मैंने, लाइक 3 easy questions in a row, like 3 free marks. Question number 8. Four solid objects are made from the same material and have equal volumes. Which object is the most stable? अच्छा, for an object to be stable, दो चीजें जरूरी होनी चाहिए. The center of mass should be the lowest. ठीक है ना? एंड द ऑब्जेक्ट शुड कवर द मोस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ सरफेस एरिया। ये दो चीजें किस चीज में हम कंप्राइज कर सकते हैं? The center of mass for C will be around here and the center of mass in D is around here. Center of mass अगर हमने lowest रखना है, so the most amount of mass should be in the lower portion. ठीक है ना? ज्यादातर mass जो होना चाहिए, it should be the lower portion. जैसे you can see this pyramid. This pyramid is so stable. It is because कि उसका जो surface area that is maximum और जो उसका center of mass है that is very low because the majority of the mass is towards the bottom of the object. तो आप खुद देख के बताएं कि कौन सा सिमिलर लग रहा है पिरामिड से, या आपको कोई ऐसा ऑब्जेक्ट जो नजर आ रहा हो जिसका जो सेंटर ऑफ मास है वो नीचे है और जिसका जो सरफेस एरिया दैट इज द हाईएस्ट. इफ यू गेस्ड डी दैट वुड हैव बीन राइट, क्योंकि जो डी है उसका सेंटर ऑफ मास बहुत ज्यादा है और उसका आई मीन सेंटर ऑफ मास बहुत नीचे है और उसका जो सरफेस एरिया दैट इज अलॉट. Let's move on. Question number 9. A metal wire is stretched by a force up to the limit of proportionality. Which statement describes what happens when the F is slightly increased? ये है हमारे पास लिमिट ऑफ प्रोपोर्शनैलिटी और लिमिट ऑफ प्रोपोर्शनैलिटी के आगे अगर आप फोर्स इंक्रीज करोगे द फोर्स एक्सटेंशन ग्राफ विल नो लॉन्गर बी प्रोपोर्शनल, सो द वायर विल ब्रेक. नो. So what will happen? The wire will continue to extend but it will not be proportional. ठीक है ना? So as you can see, जो wire है, it is continuing to extend, but the force added is not much. That is because it is past the limit of proportionality and therefore it will not be proportional to the extension. B. The wire continues to extend but not in direct proportions to F. This seems like the right answer. C. The wire continues to extend in direct proportions to F. That is completely wrong. That is what exactly what limit of proportionality means. That अगर आप इससे ज़्यादा force increase करोगे, that the graph will no longer be proportional. The wire does not extend any further. जो wire है that is not invincible, है ना? Wire invincible नहीं है. Of course the wire will like extend, but it will not extend like proportional to F. Let's move on. Question number 10. Piston X is pushed into a hydraulic cylinder. Piston X produces a pressure Px in the liquid in the cylinder. The diagram shows the cylinder viewed from above. There are two other pistons Y and Z in the cylinder. The pressure on piston Y and Z are Py and Pz. What is the relationship between Px, Py and Pz? इसके लिए आपको एक चीज याद होनी चाहिए. What is that thing you might ask? It is the Pascal's principle. ठीक है ना? It is the transmission of pressure through liquids. Transmission of pressure through liquids. अब याद करने की कोशिश करें. What is the Pascal's principle? The Pascal's principle states that the pressure will equally be transmitted. The pressure will equally be transmitted in all direction throughout the liquid. What does that mean? The pressure will equally be transmitted in all directions throughout the fluid. That means that each and every pressure is equal to the other. Therefore, D is the right answer. Very easy question. Question number 11. Air is trapped in a cylinder by a piston. The pressure of air is P and the length of the air column is 20 centimeters. तो initially जो air column की length है that is 20 centimeters. जो piston है that is moved outwards, मतलब उसका जो volume है that is being increased. The length of the air column increases by 40 centimeters. मतलब जो initial उसके पास 20 centimeters की length थी, अब उसने increase कर दिया by 40 centimeters, मतलब जो total length है that is now 60 centimeters. The temperature of the air remains constant. What is the new pressure? The new pressure, first of all, let me tell you a couple things. Sorry for that. Since volume is inversely proportional to the pressure, so the volume will increase, the pressure will decrease. अगर volume आप increase करोगे, जो pressure होगा that will decrease. दिस इज फिगर वन में यू कैन सी 6 पार्टिकल्स और उसकी जो कॉलम लेंथ है दैट इज 20 centimeters. You can see that they are condensed in a small area, therefore they will be hitting the surfaces more and they will be hitting the piston more, creating a pressure. But after we have been put into the हमारी जो उसकी लेंथ इंक्रीज कर दी है, व्हाट यू कॉल इट, कॉलम की, what happens is that the particles will have more volume, and when the particles have more volume they will not hit the piston as much, therefore they will not create as much pressure. ठीक है ना? So yeah, that is the whole concept of this. The whole concept is that if the volume increases the pressure will decrease. So yeah, let me demonstrate you in a simple formula. P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2. ठीक है ना? P1 हम लिख लेते हैं आज P1 as it is लिख लेते हैं, V1 की जगह हम लिख देते हैं 20. P2 भी हम as it is लिख देते हैं और V2 की जगह हम लिख देते हैं 60 which is the initial length of the column. ठीक है? So अगर हमने P2 को सब्जेक्ट बनाना है, what we will have to do is we will have to bring this P V2 here, which will be divided by the V1. So P1 is multiplied by 20 divided by 60. And as we know, 20 divided by 60 is 1/3. P1 1 by 3 is equals to P2. And अगर आप P1 को ऊपर ले जाओ, like it would be P by 3. P1 by 3 is equals to the P2. ठीक है ना? So as we can see that the new pressure is B. P by 3 is the new pressure. So yeah, as simple as that. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 12. A 60 kilogram ice skater traveling initially at 3 meters per second glides across a horizontal icy surface. The skater brakes and comes to rest after 5 meters. The work done against the braking force is the change in the kinetic energy of the ice skater. What is the braking force? In order to get the braking force, first we will need to calculate the change in kinetic energy. The change in kinetic energy will be equal to 1 by 2 m into v square. ठीक है ना? तो 1 by 2 हमारे पास आ गया into m which is 60 into v square which is 3 square. ठीक है ना? अगर हमारे पास कोई फाइनल वेलोसिटी होती तो हम इसके अंदर फाइनल वेलोसिटी से इसको सब्ट्रैक्ट करते, बट सिंस वी डोंट हैव अ फाइनल वेलोसिटी हम इसको एज इट इज ही लिख सकते हैं, राइट? क्योंकि वो जो फाइनल वेलोसिटी हो जाएगा वो पूरा जीरो हो जाएगा, सिंस द वेलोसिटी जीरो से देयर विल बी नो काइनेटिक एनर्जी. तो ये हमारे पास आ जाएगा 1/2 into 60 into 3 square which is 9 and that is gonna be, let's see, 270 न्यूटन्स. तो अगर हम इसको वर्क डन के फॉर्मूला में डाल दें 270 इज इक्वल्स टू एफ इंटू डी. हमारे पास डिस्टेंस कितना है? द डिस्टेंस इट टुक फॉर द राइडर टू एक्चुअली कम टू रेस्ट विच इज 5 meters. तो हम 5 लिख देते हैं इसकी जगह. तो 270 by 5 is gonna be our answer which is 54 newtons as the answer. As simple as that. Question 13. Which equation is used to find the efficiency of an energy transfer? As we know, जो efficiency का formula होता है that is useful output divided by total input. Let's see कौन सा हमें नजर आ रहा है. A seems like the right answer. Useful energy output divided by total energy input. A very easy answer. Question number 14. The diagram shows the inside of a refrigerator. When the refrigerator is first switched on, what happens to the air near the cooling unit? First of all, let me establish a quick fact that the cool air is denser than the hot air. Hot air is less dense than the cool air. ठीक है ना? So now, if that's out of the way, let me tell you about the common facts. The molecules of this air, they become smaller, they become smaller. They move closer, they move closer. The molecules never become smaller. they will always move closer. And since जो cooling unit है, that is like dispensing cold air, the molecules there will be more closer together. That is what density means. That the molecules are more close together since the cooling unit is sending out cool air, and cool air is denser than the hot air. The density of the air will increase. ठीक है ना? Density means अगर कोई चीज close move हो रही है, the density will increase of course. अगर यहाँ 5 बंदे खड़े हैं and if you reduce the distance between the people, the density of people will increase. So yeah, D is the right answer. Let's move on. Question number 15. What is the color and what is the texture of a good absorber of infrared radiation? A good absorber and a good emitter are both black and dull. ठीक है ना? मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल दे देता हूँ इसकी एमिशन की और एब्जॉर्प्शन की. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एब्जॉर्प्शन. अगर आपने कभी बाहर गए हो धूप में गर्मियों के मौसम में और आपने वो काली चीज पहनी हो तो यू फील वेरी वार्म एंड वेरी हॉट इनसाइड इट एंड इफ यू टच द सरफेस ऑफ द ब्लैक क्लॉथ और वट एवर इट इज आपको बहुत गर्माइश फील होती है राइट. इट इज वेरी हॉट राइट. दैट इज बिकॉज इट इज अ वेरी गुड एब्जॉर्बर एंड अगर आप उसके हाथ आगे रखो ना इट वुड बी रेडिएटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ द हीट. दैट इज बिकॉज इट इज अ वेरी गुड एमिटर एज वेल. या आपने कभी गर्मियों के मौसम में बाहर कपड़े उतारने गए हो और आपने बाहर से एक दुपट्टा काला दुपट्टा स्पेसिफिकली उसके पास गए हो इट वुड बी रेडिएटिंग अ लॉट ऑफ like warmth. That is because QK it is a very good emitter. So yeah, B is the right answer. And why is it a very good dull surface? Texture की बात करो तो अगर आप shiny देखें ना shiny surfaces will reflect most of the rays, right? It will reflect much of the radiation, right? It could, or yeah, but a dull surface would not. So yeah, question number 16, which temperatures are used as a lower and upper fixed point for a mercury in glass thermometer? जो lower fixed point होता है ना और you can say it as ice point, इसको ice point भी कहते हैं ठीक है ना. It is the temperature at which pure ice melts. ठीक है ना. So it is the temperature at pure ice melts. So that would be B. जो B हमारे पास सीधा आंसर आ गया but I will tell you the upper fixed point as well. The upper fixed point can be known as the steam point as well. It is the temperature at which the pure water boils. So B is the right answer. Question number 17. Two liquid in glass thermometers have identical dimension. So they are identical in dimensions. तो मैं इनको दोनों को बना देता हूँ. तो इसके अंदर इसकी ट्यूब भी है. So ये बना दी मैंने ट्यूब भी. One contains ethanol and the other one contains mercury. एक के अंदर ethanol है, ethanol, and the other one has mercury of the same volume. Ethanol expands more than the mercury for the same temperature rise. Ethanol expands more. What does that mean? That means that the ethanol is more sensitive to temperature change. ठीक है ना. अगर आप उसको एक थोड़ा सा भी चेंज कर दो ना टेम्परेचर इट वुड बी एबल टू respond to that by expanding. ठीक है ना. How do the sensitivity and range of ethanol thermometer compare to those of the mercury thermometer? अगर आपके पास सिर्फ एक चीज ज्यादा हो सकती है you can either have good range or you can either have good sensitivity. You can either have good sensitivity or good range. You can never have both. तो इसलिए हमारे पास कौन कौन से आंसर जो है that are eliminated. Such a beautiful fact that you can eliminate two answers just by the relationship of the two specific quantities. ठीक है ना. तो A and B तो हमारे eliminate हो गए हैं because you can either have a small range and a good sensitivity or a good range and a small sensitivity. अच्छा जी आगे B और C देख लेते हैं हम. तो as we can see that the ethanol expands more. That means it is sensitive to the temperature rise. So ethanol की sensitivity is greater than the sensitivity of mercury, but the mercury has a better range as opposed to the ethanol. Since the ethanol has a greater sensitivity, the mercury for the same temperature rise will not expand as much. And when the mercury does not expand as much, that means that the range of the mercury is much more. And you have to keep another fact in your mind that the two thermometers are identical in shape. So yeah. क्वेश्चन नंबर 18, दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन क्योंकि ये आपके दो तीन जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं उनको साइमल्टेनियसली टेस्ट कर रहा है. सो लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द क्वेश्चन. Solar panels are used to heat water with a mass of 500 kilograms. The total area of the solar panels is 10 meters square and the average power output from each square meter of the panel is 300 watts. The specific heat capacity of water is 4200 joules per kilogram Celsius centigrade. What is the increase in the water temperature after 8 hours? Assume there is no heat loss. So first of all, they are asking us the increase in the temperature. The increase in the temperature can only be calculated by the specific heat capacity का formula. Why, you might ask? It is not the only formula from which we can calculate the change in temperature, but हमारे पास जो values given है, which is the value of the specific heat capacity, हम उसका एक formula लगाएंगे ना. So specific heat capacity का formula जो है that is Q is equals to mc delta थीटा. थीटा को देखो टेम्परेचर, change in temperature लिख दे. Delta theta is change in temp. So yeah, we can write that. So first of all, Q is the thermal energy. Q is the thermal energy. Do we have the thermal energy? No, we don't. But we can calculate it easily. So as they have already told us that there are 10 meters square of what do you call it, solar panels. तो हमारे 10 मीटर स्क्वायर ऑफ सोलर पैनल्स हो गए एंड ईच ऑफ द सोलर पैनल्स ईच मीटर स्क्वायर प्रोड्यूसेस 300 वॉट्स ऑफ पावर. तो हमारे पास आ गया टोटल पावर आउटपुट ऑफ 3000 वॉट्स. 3000 वॉट्स का हमारे पास टोटल पावर आउटपुट आ गया, बट वी नीड थर्मल एनर्जी, वी डू नॉट नीड पावर. तो पावर इज इक्वल टू एनर्जी डिवाइडेड बाय टाइम. पावर है हमारे पास 3000, एनर्जी हमने निकालनी है और टाइम हमारे पास है 8 आवर्स. 8 आवर्स को पहले हम सेकंड्स में कन्वर्ट करेंगे. 8 into 60 दैट वुड बी 28,800. 28,800. और अगर हम 28,800 को मल्टीप्लाई करें बाय 3000, वी विल गेट द टोटल थर्मल एनर्जी. दैट वुड बी 86 million approximately. So yeah, it is equal to the mass multiplied by the specific heat capacity. Specific heat capacity finally multiplied by the, what do you call it, change in temperature. Change in temp. So yeah, let's put in the values. हमारे पास आ गया है the total thermal energy. हमारे पास thermal energy आ गई, we can put that here, is equals to mass which is 500 kilograms multiplied by the specific heat capacity which is 4200, as we can see, multiplied by the change in temperature. Change, sorry, change in temp. सो यहाँ मल्टीप्लाई हो रही है ये दोनों वैल्यूज, यहाँ आके डिवाइड हो जाएंगे एंड दिस इज 4200 नॉट 42,000. तो इसको हम डिवाइड कर देंगे बाय 500 और इसको हम फर्दर डिवाइड कर देंगे बाय 4200. दैट विल गिव अस अ वैल्यू ऑफ 41 डिग्री सेल्सियस. 41 is the change in temperature. Hopefully you got that. अगर नहीं, आप मुझसे कमेंट सेक्शन में पूछ सकते हो and you can even rewatch the video, rewatch the segment where I solved this question. Question number 19. The graph is the temperature time graph for a sample of wax that is heated so that it melts. They are saying that it melts, which means there is a change in state. अब आपने पहले आइडेंटिफाई करना है वेयर इन दिस ग्राफ इज द चेंज इन स्टेट। जब भी स्टेट चेंज हो रही होती है, द ग्राफ इज सीधा, जो लाइन जा रही है दैट विल बी सीधा, बिल्कुल सीधा, बिकॉज ऑल द एनर्जी इज एलोकेटेड टूवर्ड्स ब्रेकिंग द बॉन्ड्स। और जब ब्रेक होंगे बॉन्ड्स, द पार्टिकल और द सब्सटेंस विल स्टार्ट टू मेल्ट। ठीक है ना? while there is a change in states, all the energy will be allocated towards breaking the bonds. अगर आप bonds नहीं break करेंगे, what will it will never it will never turn into a liquid form. So yeah, from here to here, all the temperature or the energy, thermal energy is allocated towards breaking the bonds. The mass of the wax is 200 grams. Thermal energy is supplied to the wax at a constant rate of 12,000 joules per minute. What is the specific latent heat of fusion of the wax? Specific latent heat of fusion का formula होता है Q is equals to ml. Q हमारे पास, first of all we have to find out the Q again. हमें बताया गया है कि 12,000 joules per minute is provided, and the total time that it takes for the change of state, that will be between this point and this point, which is approximately 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and 4 minutes. So 4 minutes हमारे पास आ गए, and as they have told us के 12,000 joules per minute, if we want the total energy, we will just multiply this by 4, which will give us 48,000 joules. ठीक है ना? तो 48,000 is equals to mass, which is 200 grams, into L, which is the latent heat of fusion. So 48,000 divided by 200 will give us the answer, which is, sorry, 240 joules per gram, which is our answer B. Question number 20. The temperature of water in 4 beakers are different, and the area of surface of the water are also different. Temperature different है और area, surface area different है. In which beaker is the rate of evaporation the greatest? Acha, for the rate of evaporation to be greatest, the temperature should be the highest. Temperature should temperature should be highest. That is, of course, क्योंकि जब ज्यादा energy मिलेगी to the particles, they will evaporate more. The temperature should be highest, and the surface area should be highest. अब अपना दिमाग खुद ही लगा के सोचिए पहले आप जब बारिश होती है, राइट, बारिश के सीधा बाद क्या आती है? धूप निकलती है, राइट, धूप निकलती है, धूप की वजह से बहुत जल्दी जो वाटर पडल्स होते हैं दे इवापोरेट, राइट। बट अगर आप सेम पानी की क्वांटिटी को एक टब में रख दो, एंड द टब इज इन योर रूम, एंड द वाटर इज एट रूम टेम्परेचर, द वाटर विल नॉट इवापोरेट एज फास्ट। जैसे आप सुबह बारिश होती है, शाम तक वो सारा पानी इवापोरेट हुआ होता है, that will not happen if that water is not being provided the temperature which it is being provided outside in the sunny day. So yeah, the temperature of water should be highest. So 25, 25, the surface area should be highest, 100. So D is the right answer. Question 21. The diagram shows one wave front of a wave as it travels from deep water to shallow water in a ripple tank. What happens as the wavefront moves into the shallow water? As the wavefront moves from the deep water to the shallow water, the speed of the wavefront will decrease. Why, you might ask? Because shallow water होता है ना, उसमें बहुत ज्यादा resistances होती हैं. While on the other hand, अगर आप deep water में एक wavefront को छोड़ोगे, that would be much less resistance in the deep water. डीप वाटर में कम रेजिस्टेंस होती है, शैलो वाटर में ज्यादा रेजिस्टेंस होती है। और जब शैलो वाटर में एक डीप वाटर से वेव फ्रंट जाएगा, दैट वुड मीन दैट द वेव फ्रंट इज फेसिंग मोर resistance, and when the wavefront faces more resistance, it will in turn slow down. Question number 22. Which example gives a describes the transverse wave being refracted? Acha ji, what is refraction? Refraction, changing of the medium, while the ray bends. You can say that. So infrared ray wave traveling in an optic fiber, that is total internal reflection. That is not refraction. B. Light wave traveling from an object entering a magnifying glass. So yeah, there is a change in the medium and a change in direction of the wave. So yeah, that is refraction. C और D में longitudinal waves का जिक्र किया जाता है, therefore they are absolutely wrong. Question 23. Light reflects from a plane mirror as shown. Which row is always correct? So, symbol of angle x. Angle x is the angle of refraction. Reflection, sorry, angle of reflection. And it will be represented by r. ठीक है ना? And as we know that the angle of reflection and the angle of incidence, both of them are equal. Therefore, x and y will be equal. So C is the right answer. Very simple question. Question number 24. A piece of paper torn from an exercise book is shown. The object is further away from the lens. Further away from the lens than the focal point and the image is upside down. Which process is being described? जो description है ना of the object being further away from the lens than the focal point and the object being upside down is the characteristic of a real image by a converging lens. So D is the right answer. Question 25. A girl is long-sighted. Which statement is correct? She sees objects. She sees close objects less clearly than a person with normal vision. This is correct. ठीक है ना? लॉन्ग साइटेडनेस का यही एक मेन फैक्टर होता है कि जो आसपास की चीजें होती है ना वो ज्यादा क्लियरली नजर नहीं आती. सी और डी से एक और कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो रहा है. सी द फॉल्ट इज करेक्टेड विद अ डाइवर्जिंग लेंस. नो, द फॉल्ट is corrected by a converging lens since the image is being formed behind the retina. And for us to form the image on the retina, we will need to converge the rays of light. The image of the close object is formed on the in front of the retina. No, it is formed behind the retina. So yeah. Question number 26. Light rays are deviated by a prism. So जो रे है और उसके ओरिजिनल पाथ से अगर हम कंपेयर करें the angle between the original path and the refracted ray is going to be the angle we're going to take, which is D. The deviation angle D is measured for light rays of different frequencies, including blue light and red light. Which graph of D against frequency is correct? ये मैंने simply आपको एक graph दिखा रहा हूँ, which I have taken off of the internet. So what they're saying is that this was the original path of the light. But since it is refracted, the light is going a different path. And this is the different angles for the different frequencies of light. तो ये हमारे पास रेड का हो गया, ये हमारे पास येलो का हो गया, ये हमारे पास ग्रीन का हो गया, ये हमारे पास ब्लू का हो गया, आगे हमारे पास वायलेट का हो गया. ठीक है ना? तो उन्होंने हमसे पूछा हुआ है which graph of D against frequency is correct. So as we move from red to blue, the D is increasing. So the D is increasing as we move from red to blue. So it's either C or D. But C में हमें नजर आ रहा है कि जो angle है, it is decreasing. But the angle is increasing from red to blue. Therefore, D is the right answer. Question number, एक second, sorry for that. क्या मसला है? Sorry for that. Question number 27. A satellite orbits the Earth at a height of 300 kilometers above the surface. So ये हमारे पास क्या बदतमीजी है? इसमें क्या मसला हो रहा है? ये हमारे पास एक अर्थ है और अर्थ के 300 किलोमीटर अबव एक सैटेलाइट है. ठीक है ना? इट इज अ सैटेलाइट विच इज 300 किलोमीटर्स अबव द अर्थ. समझ आ गई? The speed of the electromagnetic wave is 3 into 10 raised to the power of 8 meters per second. What is the minimum time taken for the radio signal transmitted from Earth to reach the satellite? Since radio signal is a electromagnetic wave, right? It will travel at the speed of 3 into 10 raised to the power of 8 and The distance is 300 kilometers. So we can easily calculate it by using the formula speed is equals to distance by time. Time हमने निकालना है तो हम time ऊपर ले जाएंगे and we make time the subject that will be distance divided by speed. Distance हमारे पास कितना है? Distance is 300. The distance is 300 kilometers. And since the speed is in meters per second, we will have to convert the kilometers into meters. So that will be 300,000 meters. 300,000 meters divided by the speed. Speed है हमारे पास 300 million meters per second. So we will get an answer of 0.001 seconds. ठीक है ना? And अगर हम इसको इसमें देखें significant form में देखें that will be 1 into 10 raised to the power of minus 3 seconds. So yeah, C is the right answer. Question number 28. Which of the following is most closely associated with echoes? Echoes क्या होता है? For example, आप यहाँ खड़े हैं. Like you're standing here. Sorry for that. You're standing here and you make a sound and in front of you is a wall. आप एक sound make करोगे. The sound wave will reflect back and you will hear your own sound. That is what echo is. Echo is basically a reflection of sound wave. So या आपने कभी देखा हो आप बड़े से हॉल में हो और बड़े से हॉल में आप एक ऊंची आवाज मारते हो. The sound gets back to your ears by reflection. So yeah. Question 28. An ultrasound 29. An ultrasound scanner produces an image of an unborn baby. What does the scanner use to form an image of the baby? So the basically the ultrasound waves are basically what are they doing? They are being reflected back and forming a 3D image of the baby. The ultrasound absorbed by the baby, this is like simply related to your memory. How you memorize things. Most of the questions, I'm surprised कि कितना आसान पेपर है. Most of the questions are related to the memory of your how you have memorized the syllabus. So ultrasound absorbed by the baby, no. Ultrasound emitted by the baby, no. Ultrasound reflected by the baby, that is correct. Ultrasound refracted. So yeah, C is the right answer. Let's move on to question number 30. Question number 30. A small plotting compass is placed near to a bar magnet as shown. Which diagram shows the direction in which the compass needle points? So first of all, we need to establish ke kaha the magnetic field lines will go. The magnetic field lines will go in the direction from north to south. So like this, it will go like this and the direction will be from the north to south. So now we have to determine कि कहाँ जो north pole है of the compass needle and south pole कहाँ होंगे. The north will always be in the direction of the magnetic field lines, or you can say it will always be towards the south pole. ठीक है ना? So अगर हमने ऐसे बना दिया magnetic field lines और एक compass यहाँ draw कर दिए, compass needle draw कर दिए. So where will the north be? It will be in this half. ठीक है ना? So that clearly shows that A is the right answer. Question number 31. A positively charged plastic rod is placed near but not touching an insulated and previously uncharged metal ball. No charge leaves the rod. So plastic rod की जो charge है that is gonna stay in the plastic rod and जो metal ball का charge है that is gonna stay in the metal ball. What are the possible charges on the left hand side and the right hand side of the ball? First of all, we need to determine कि हमारा जो charge होगा उसका unit क्या होगा. This is a damn easy part of the question. The charge on the unit of the charge will be coulombs. ठीक है ना. अब हमने determine करना है कि कौन सी side पे कौन सा charge होगा. Since the plastic rod is positively charged, so we can easily assume that the negative charge will be on the left side. Or positive charge will repel positive charge. So we can easily assume that the right side will have the positive charge. है ना? So let's see. On the left hand side of the ball, the negative charge will be. So C will be our answer. And on the right hand side of the ball, the positive charge will be. So you don't have to play around with the charges. You just have to remember, okay? मतलब like charges जो होते हैं, they attract, and I mean the unlike charges attract and the like charges repel, and they have the equal and opposite charges in an uncharged ball. That's why I highlighted that. Question number 32. Which circuit is connected to measure the current in the fixed resistor and the potential difference across the same resistor? So as we know that the voltmeter is always connected in parallel to a resistor, while the ammeter is always connected in series with a resistor. So this is how an voltmeter would be connected. So एक second बस. So this is how a voltmeter would be connected. While an ammeter will be connected in series like this. ठीक है ना? सो हम ऑप्शंस देख लेते हैं कि किसमें हमारे पास जो वोल्ट मीटर है दैट इज इन पैरेलल और एम मीटर है दैट इज इन सीरीज. तो दिस इन दिस ऑप्शन जो हमारे पास एम मीटर है दैट इज इन सीरीज while the voltmeter is in the parallel. A is the right answer. B में हम देख सकते हैं कि voltmeter is in series. D में भी voltmeter series में है. C में voltmeter is across both of the resistors and the ammeter is just adjacent to the other resistor. Therefore, this cannot be the answer either. So yeah, A is the right answer. Question number 33. Quantity X and quantity Y have the same unit Z. X is the energy dissipated by a battery in driving unit charge around the complete circuit. Y is the work done in a component in driving unit charge through the component. What are X, Y, and Z? So as we can tell that the X is electromotive force, Y is the potential difference, and Z, the unit will be volt for that. अच्छा डिफरेंस हमें कैसे पता चला है एक्स में हमें बताया जा रहा है इट इज द यूनिट चार्ज राउंड द कंप्लीट सर्किट while वाई में हमें पता चल रहा है दैट it is the work done in a component in driving the unit charge through the component. So it is throughout the component while X may it is throughout the whole circuit. So yeah, let's move on to question number 34. Transformer with an efficiency of 100% has a primary voltage input of 600 and a secondary voltage output of 240 volts. The secondary coil is attached to a resistor of resistance 120 ohms. What is the power dissipated in the resistor and what is the current in the primary coil? Current निकालना है, power निकालना है. So first of all, what we can do is we can calculate the current in the secondary coil, and then I will tell you what we have to do. The current in the secondary coil will be calculated using the formula V is equals to IR. V हमारे पास है 240, I हमने निकालना है और R हमारे पास है 120. तो 240 by 120 is equals to 2 amperes is the current in the secondary coil. ठीक है ना? Now I will tell you the main part of the question. The main part of the question revolves around this. This is what the main part of the question revolves around. They are saying that the power from the primary is equals to the power in the secondary. Since the efficiency of the transformer is 100%. And we know that the formula for power is equals to VI. So can we write VI is equals to VI? Yes, we can. But just for your understanding, मैं लिख देता हूँ VP is equals to IP is equals to VS is equals to IS. ठीक है ना? So yeah, VP is primary voltage is 600 multiplied by IP is equals to VS which is 240 multiplied by IS which is 2. So we can calculate the IP which is the current in the primary coil. So IP is equals to 240 multiplied by 2 divided by 600. What will that give us? Let's do the math. 240 into 2 divided by 600. This will give us 0.8 amperes. 0.8 amperes for the primary current. So we can see that the answer is straight ahead. It is C. But I will still calculate the power for you. Power is equals to VI. We have voltage and we have I, which is the current. Voltage is 600. 600 into 0.8, as we just calculated, that will give us 480 watts. That is our answer. Let's move on to the next question. This is a repeated question, तो मैंने इसके लिए जो पहले working की थी, I'm just gonna copy it here. So let's continue to the question. The diagram shows an alarm system in which switch S is shown closed. The top circuit arranged so that the electromagnet is positioned over the soft iron contact. जब electromagnet on होएगा, the magnetic field will pull the iron contact, and when the electromagnet is off, the iron contact will drop and it will complete the lower circuit. And when it completes the lower circuit, it will ring the bell. What happens when the switch S is opened? So मैंने इस क्वेश्चन को दो सेगमेंट्स में डिवाइड कर दिया है, वन सेगमेंट बीइंग द स्विच क्लोज्ड एंड द अदर वन बीइंग स्विच ओपन. So yeah, let's continue. First of all, switch closed. जब ये switch close होएगा ना, it will complete the electrical circuit और जो current होगा, it will flow through the electromagnet. And when the current flows through the electromagnet will generate its own magnetic field. And when the magnetic field is created by the electromagnet, जो iron contact होगा, it will be lifted up by the electromagnet, right? So it will stay in this position till this circuit is complete. But at the moment when this circuit is broken, जब ये open हो जाएगा switch, what will happen is that the electromagnet will lose all its magnetic field, which will cause the iron contact to drop. And when the iron contact drops, what will happen is that the lower circuit will be completed. और जब lower circuit complete होएगा, of course the bell will ring. So what happens when the switch S is opened? When the switch S is opened, as I have told you, the iron contact will drop. ठीक है ना? And when the iron contact drops, the bell will ring. Sorry. Question number 36. The diagram shows an LED connected in a circuit with a resistor and an AC power supply of frequency 2 Hz. What does this mean? The frequency being 2 Hz means that the direction of the current will change twice every second. Direction of current will change twice a second. ठीक है ना? When the direction of the current changes twice a second, जो LED होगी, it will turn on for twice each second and it will turn off twice each second. So let's read what do you call it, options. A, the LED does not light. That is not correct. B, the LED flashes on twice each second and off twice each second. So it matches our description. ठीक है ना? So LED flashes on 4 times each second. That does not make sense. The LED stays on all the time. So yeah. Question 37. Which statement about the production of electricity in a nuclear power station is correct? In a nuclear power station जो होता है ना, nuclear fission takes place. And the nuclear fission takes place by by splitting a larger atom into two smaller atoms. ठीक है ना? By the reaction which is caused by a single stray neutron. A. In the reactor, the main reaction occurs when the proton hits the uranium, when a neutron hits the uranium. B. The process taking place in the reactor is called nuclear fusion. No, it is called nuclear fission. C. The reactor produces energy to boil water and produce steam. That is completely correct. D. No, it is going to be carbon waste. It is also a repeated question. It came in the last paper. Question 38. A radioactive sample contains an isotope that emits alpha particles. Which quantity stays constant? The value which will stay constant is going to be the half-life of the radioactive isotope. Because it is a constant characteristic of the isotope, it represents half the time it takes for the radioactive nuclei in the sample to decay. So regardless of the size of the sample, the rate of decay, the half-life will remain the same for the specific isotope. So yeah, A is the right answer. The mass of the sample, nah, nah, nah. Question number 39. In a simple model of an atom, X orbits around Y. What are X and Y? X is going to be the electron. It is very simple. Three के marks. Very easy paper. Y is going to be the nucleus. Nucleus consists of protons and neutrons. So yeah, A is the right answer. Sorry for that. Yeah. Question number 40. How do the proton numbers, atomic numbers, and the nucleon numbers, the mass number of two different isotopes of the same element compare with each other? So as we can see, मैंने आपको ये थोड़ा सा एक एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है. इट इज कार्बन 12, 13 एंड 14 आइसोटोप्स हैं कार्बन के. तो इसके मैं आपको डिफरेंसेस दिखा देता हूँ. इसको थोड़ा सा ऊपर कर देता हूँ. So as we can see that the proton number is not changing. The proton number is gonna stay the same while the neutron number is constantly changing, right? So we can say that the proton number is gonna stay the same while the nucleon number, which consists of both protons and neutrons, is gonna be different at each time. So C is the right answer. So that is going to be it for our paper, which is October-November 2021 paper 1 variant 2. I hope you found this paper very helpful. And अगर आपको ये paper helpful लगा है, make sure to like, subscribe, check out our topical past papers और share it with your peers. नमाज पढ़ना ना भूलिएगा. Pray for our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Right? Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Allah Hafiz.